All right, so for this week's real estate tips, speaking of real estate, this is beautiful downtown Kamloops. Wanted to get out and about a little bit today. It's a gorgeous day. We're making up for the crappy weather we had in July, so thank goodness for September, and I hope it lasts right till the end of the month. Real estate tip this week, talking about VTBs. What does that mean? Vendor take back. Vendor take back financing. So maybe you've heard of that before, but you're not sure exactly what it is. Well, vendor take back financing is when the seller of a property either holds the entire mortgage for you or holds a second mortgage for you when you're purchasing the property. So where would this be used? Typically it's with for sale by owner type properties where you're dealing directly with the seller. So if the seller has a lot of equity in the property, they can do, if they're willing to do it, they can do a vendor take back financing for you. So how does that work? Well, in the best case scenario, they own the property outright, they don't need the cash right away, and they can hold the entire mortgage for you for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, whatever you can negotiate. That's the ideal situation. However, to be honest with you, it hardly ever happens, except sometimes with smaller properties like mobile homes, things like that, that are a lot lower in the price range. The other way that it can work, which is actually the way I bought my home, is where the vendor holds part of the financing or does part of the financing for you. So when I purchased my home back in, when was it, 2005, I had just got my business up and running. I'd had it for a couple of years. I just barely squeaked in and qualified for a mortgage, but it wasn't very good rates and that sort of thing. And I didn't want to pay the CMHC fees. So I negotiated a deal with the seller. They held a second mortgage, I believe, for $40,000 or $45,000 for 4 years, I think it was, at a certain interest rate. And in fact, it was only, we arranged it so it was just interest payments. I didn't have to pay any principal on that. And then at the end of the 4 or the 5 years, when I refinanced, remortgaged the house, I cashed them out and they were done. Win-win situation. They got their full price for the house. They got ongoing interest income on that money, and they got a balloon payment at the end. Helped me get into the house without having to do CMHC high ratio financing and paying for CMHC insurance as well. So that's your real estate tip for today. Anytime you can get VTBs, vendor take back financing, that's an awesome thing. Take care.